Losing fat with PCOS can seem impossible. You're doing the whole eating clean, you're tracking your calories, you're going to the gym, you're doing your cardio, but for whatever reason, none of it seems to work. You eventually burn out, you get frustrated, and then you go back to where you once started, or likely even worse. And then the cycle just goes on. And then you just rinse and repeat that same process and cycle time and time again. And to put the icing on the cake, you listen to every single bozo online who doesn't understand how the body works, who quite simply tells you that it is your fault, that you just need to lower your calories and you just need to move more. And that is exactly why you're in the position that you're in now. If this sounds like you, then stay with me, because in this video, we're going to unpack why you're struggling to lose fat, why this advice doesn't work for you, and how we're actually going to elicit fat loss and see results for the first time. Let's actually understand why PCOS makes fat loss harder. First things first, let's be clear. PCOS does not make fat loss impossible. You're just doing it wrong. You don't have an issue with consuming too many calories. You have an issue with the way in which your body metabolizes those into available energy. So one thing that I want you to keep in mind for this entire video is that the calories in, calories out dynamic, I want this to be the last thing on your mind. There's three very distinct reasons why you're struggling with fat loss when it comes to PCOS. Number one is insulin resistance. Insulin is the fat storing hormone. So the reason why you have an issue losing fat is because you have an issue managing your insulin. When you have an insulin resistance, what starts to happen is the cells in your body become resistant to the uptake of glucose from which you're putting inside your body. Your cells reject the insulin which you're trying to move into that cell for energy. It's then stored directly as fat on the body. Now, the knock-on effect of this is that your insulin levels stay chronically elevated. When your insulin levels are elevated, you cannot use fat for fuel on your body. You cannot access the process called lipolysis. Quite literally, you are putting food and energy inside your body that you don't have access to, which is why you'll eat and then feel hungry afterwards, and that's where you'll get the sugar craving. Your body is just broken. It's not your fault. The second thing is you have hormonal imbalances. You have elevated androgen levels within your blood, and as a byproduct of that, you're gonna get increased hunger, you're gonna get increased visceral fat, cravings, poor sleep, and these things compound into more fat gain. And to top it off, you have definitely slowed your metabolism down. Insulin resistance, inflammation within the body is going to lead to metabolic adaptation, which means your metabolism has down-regulated, therefore your body is not as efficient with the calories in which you put inside it as what it could be for a normal person. That is why the whole eat less, move more rule does not apply to you, because it's not an issue with how much you're eating, it's not an issue with how much you're moving, it's an issue in the way in which your body is using that for energy. So let's break it down in three simple steps how we're going to overcome these problems. The first bit of advice that everyone will give you when it comes to stabilizing your blood sugars is just remove carbohydrates or just intermittent fast. That is a stupid idea, and anybody that doesn't understand how the body works will give you that as an answer. I can guarantee your insulin resistance actually stems from a place of having elevated levels of cortisol. So let's say you start to implement intermittent fasting. You have your first meal at 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, maybe even later. What you don't realize through that period of fasting is that you are causing your cortisol to get higher and higher and higher. When your cortisol levels are elevated, your body goes through a process called gluconeogenesis. This process is where your body will start using the fats and the proteins in which you're feeding it to convert into glucose to then be used by the body as energy. So without realizing it, you are still elevating your blood sugar levels despite the fact that you are still fasting. That is the exact reason why so many people out there skip breakfast and as a byproduct are still fat. High levels of cortisol, high levels of gluconeogenesis, high levels of blood sugar. So we don't want to be doing any of that. Instead, what we actually want to start doing is just having a balanced diet. So the fundamentals for your meals throughout the day need to be protein and fiber. These two macronutrients are the slowest digesting ones that you can feed your body. Now, why do we want that? We want that for the reason in which the slower we can put food into your body, the slower it can digest, the less effect that food is going to have on your blood sugars. And carbs are fantastic. You still need carbs within your diet to facilitate training performance, to facilitate your energy throughout the day, to bring down your cortisol levels, because carbs are fantastic for that reason. So you just need to make sensible choices and the right choices when it comes to the type of carbs in which you are having. So for this, we want to go for the fibrous, low glycemic carb options. Think sweet potato, brown rice, quinoa, couscous, pumpkin, butternut squash. These carb sources are going to be your best friend. And for your hormonal balance, you need to make sure that you're having some healthy fats with every single meal as well. Avocado, nuts, dark chocolate. For your fiber source, just think about seeds, think about your legumes. And if you go for your low glycemic carb options, they're normally higher in fiber anyway, so that's going to help you get closer to your fiber target. Don't overcomplicate this. Just have 3 to 4 of these well-balanced meals every single day. I don't even want you to work out the calories of them. I just want you to eat 3 to 4 balanced meals of these every single day. Step 2 is about lowering and managing inflammation within the body. You've probably got yourself in a position where you are doing endless cardio to try and shift the fat because nothing else is working. This is working against you. I actually want you to stop any form of cardio that you're doing right now. You've got inflammation within the body. You've got elevated levels of cortisol. We need to relax the body in order to lower the cortisol to facilitate fat loss. So the 2 forms of exercise which I want you to concentrate on, lifting weights and walking. You want to be lifting weights 2 to 3 days a week, doing progressive strength training. And when it comes to walking, just don't overcomplicate it. Just be active throughout the day. My advice when it comes to walking would be every time that you eat a meal, go for a 15-minute walk afterwards. Amazing for digestion. It's going to lower your blood sugar levels massively when you do that. That's going to help us in step 1 by stabilizing those blood sugar levels as well. And it's just amazing. It's easy, it's accessible, it's going to make you feel good. So get walking. Another thing which you want to do for managing inflammation is take care of your gut health. Now, with most women that come to me with PCOS, I try and remove some of the things which might be causing their gut to be inflamed. Gluten, dairy, processed food, alcohol, they're a given. But even things like gluten and dairy, if you find that you're sensitive to those, just remove them temporarily. And then to build on your gut health, you want to start implementing some fermented food. Foods like kefir, sourdough bread, your kimchi, your sauerkraut. These foods are amazing because they contain live bacteria. These live bacteria, when ingested, start to diversify your gut microbiome. The more diverse your gut microbiome is, the easier time you're going to have digesting food because your body has the bacteria and the digestive enzymes within it to break that food down and make it accessible for the body. A lot of inflammation comes from the gut, so take care of it and fix it. Step 3 is going to be reversing metabolic adaptation. This is the part which throws every single person off, but I guarantee that you've been under eating for a prolonged period of time. That's why your cortisol levels are elevated. That's why your hormones are downregulated. You've been chronically dieting your entire life. You've never given your body a chance to build those calories up and get used to eating more. So we're going to run a reverse diet. Yes, I said reverse diet. You're going to start decreasing the amount that you do and increasing the amount of food in which you have. And what I want you to do for the next 6 to 8 weeks is increase your calories by 75 every single week. You're probably thinking, fuck, Josh, I'm going to get fat and I'm going to be more freakishly large than where I am now. But I guarantee, okay, when you start doing steps 1, 2, and then you start reversing that diet up to healthy, clean carbohydrate sources, you're going to find that your body just starts to up-regulate and it becomes more efficient with the food in which you're putting inside it. As a byproduct, giving your body more is going to allow for the up-regulation of hormonal production, and your general well-being as a whole is going to be so much better. Everyone wants to know about supplementation. However, if you do steps 1, 2, and 3, the need for supplements is going to be diminished massively. But some of the supplements which I do recommend that I have a lot of the women that work with me to take are myoinositol, which is a great supplement for your menstrual cycle support. Berberine is another fantastic supplement which you can take after meals, which is going to help lower your blood sugar levels. And you still want to keep your basic supplements in there. Your creatine, your magnesium glycinate, your electrolytes. You don't need to overcomplicate things. Those 5 supplements alone are going to be just what you need. You do not need to go over the top. And anybody that starts giving you 7, 8, 9, 10 different supplements to take, I can guarantee they're just trying to make a couple quid off you. These 3 things are the 3 things which I focus on with every single woman that comes to me with PCOS to finally get a breakthrough in their fat loss journey and make a change once and for all. I've quite literally given you all the information to follow and implement for yourself. However, a lot of people do struggle with how to apply this to their life and how to structure a plan which works around their everyday without getting overwhelmed, without getting frustrated. I understand that people need support through this journey, some guidance. They need a plan which fits them, their lifestyle, and they need to be held accountable to that. So if you do want some further assistance and guidance to guiding you through this journey, you can work directly with myself by filling in the application form at the top link of my description, where I will work with you one-to-one on formulating your plan, keeping you accountable to that, and making sure that we deliver the results you deserve. And if I don't, I will give you your money back. It's a promise I make to every single person that comes to me. If you've got any questions about anything I mentioned in this video, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, just message me over on Instagram, which is @JoshBryce with 2 E's, and I will aim to get back to you as soon as possible. Much love.